Okay, Kathy, whenever you're ready.
All right. Peter, do you want to run the meeting or do you want me to?
I want you to, please. You're
Alrighty.
efficient.
I
If
will
you-
be efficient. So,
Yeah.
I think our first question would be for the auditors. The three positions that were put in by the administration, they were for the Contracting Standards Board, but disregard that we're going to do something different with the Contracting Standards Board. Do you need three more auditors is my question.
I think we have been spending a lot of time over the recent years catching up, and I think our present staffing levels are appropriate.
John, are you okay with that?
Yeah, right now, I think we're happy with the budget levels passed. We submitted some testimony. We're going to ask for a little bit more money in OE
Okay,
and maybe some variations on the carry forwards and other things that we've had in the past. But, right now, we're happy with our budget levels.
and what do you guys need for OE?
And thank you, by the way, for the letter you sent about that, headlining what you're asking.
What's happened over time, we haven't increased OE over time, and I think we got the number wrong. It's 272,000. There have been changes to the way we have to pay for software licenses, among other things. This coming year in August, we have our own peer review, which costs approximately $25,000 for that. So there's, we have a very small OE relative to our overall budget. So we're just seeing these variations. And obviously we're in the process of buying those computers and all the monitors and all the other things that go along with it. So it's, this year we had to actually transfer approximately $40,000 from PS to OE to cover some of those costs.
So we're requesting an additional 50,000 for OE.
Good.
Okay, Peter, do you have anything else for the auditors?
No, I'm content with that. I agree with their moving. I understand their explanations about how they didn't spend some of the money this year. And I agree with moving it forward into next year. The 50,000 is in part because we're doing well at deciding to buy instead of rent computers, a decision that we all made a couple of years ago. So I'm liking this. Thank you very much.
All righty, guys. I think that's all we need from the auditors.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Have a nice day.
You
Thank
too.
you.
Is the Women, Children, and Committee for the World on?
Come on, seniors, equity, opportunity, and a
Thank
couple
you,
other
Peter.
things I can't remember.
Susan, are they on?
The commission is not on, but OLM is on. If you want to go
Okay,
to
well,
OLM.
I
Wait,
think
it's
we can go to
roll.
OLM. Sounds good to me.
Yep.
Hi, Jim.
Hi, Senator. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, thank you. I represent Thursdayak. Nice to see you both.
Good to see you too, Jim. Thank you.
Senator, would you like to read a quick summary? Get us
Please.
kicked off here?
Please.
I'll start there. Okay, great. So just quickly, joining me today also is my HR director, Caroline Beitman, and my financial administrator, John Harnick. So they'll be helping me answer some questions as we go forward here. The legislative budget for fiscal year 23 meets our operating needs. And therefore, we're not requesting any changes or adjustments. But due to supply chain and vendor availability issues, we are requesting that the committee consider carry forward funds for the second year of the biennium in operating expenses, minor capital, and redistricting SIDs. So I'll just give you a quick rundown of those. You may have it on our memo that we forwarded. Operating expenses, we have a new telephone system for the Capitol complex, a new radio system for the State Capitol Police, emergency repairs to fix leaking water pipes at the old State House, and body cameras for the State Capitol Police. Under minor capital, We are finalizing bid specs to repair the sidewalks and roadways around the Capitol. As you know, if you've walked around there on the north side in particular, there's some real problems there. So we're finalizing bids on that. We are requesting carry forward the unspent balance in the minor capital SID. And redistricting is winding down, as you know, and is expected to be completed during this year. And once again, the request is to carry forward the unspent balance in this SID. A couple of other key issues are CTN. Judicial branch reached out to us requesting to have CTN provide coverage for all the Supreme Court proceedings. So that comes with needs for additional equipment and ongoing costs for staffing, fiber connectivity, and maintenance support. There's a one-time cost, and then there's obviously an annual ongoing cost from moving forward from there. And then the other piece is our statutory change request, which we have brought up a few times in the past. We're required to advertise in 3 newspapers, any competitive bid over $50,000. Obviously, those ads add up. No pun intended there, but up to a cost of up to $800 per one day. So we're asking to update the language for advertising to be in line with DAS, which requires only posting RFPs to the statewide contracting portal. Other than that, that's my summary. So we'll take questions, John and Caroline and I, and maybe we'll stick Neil in there too if we have to.
Okay. So can somebody get us the language that they would like to see changed so that we can have that? We have the people that write that language for us under OLM. So if they could get us that language, that'd be helpful. Maybe we can get that in the implementer. Okay. The other thing is we put money in for case. And of course, I want my John Mason statue. It's not really mine. Can we move that over to the old State House? But case was in there, and my understanding is we're just waiting for somebody to sign off on that. I don't understand why we need to wait for someone to sign off on something that we all voted on. So I know that's common practice. I disagree with it, but where is the case contract?
Yeah, we are waiting for approval, leadership approval on that.
So the leadership all voted on it. What more do we need them to do? Is there a requirement that I'm going to be sarcastic and say stand on their head? What are we doing here? Because, it's the same thing that we had with pay raises. I don't understand that. If we vote on it, and, all due respect to our leaders, if we vote on it, it seems to me that's approval, in particular when we have a bipartisan budget, which we did last year. So can you let us know where that is and how much longer it's going to be before that's approved?
I will look further into that as soon as we're done here today.
Thank you. And continue to harass people about the John Mason statue, which was also approved in a manner of speaking in the budget.
Will do.
And talked about on the Senate floor. Mm-hmm. So the other thing is we did put some money in, my understanding, and I can't remember, I thought we put $1 million in for CTN. Did that get spent?
Okay. Over to John. Go ahead, John.
So yes, Senator, we've already encumbered, I think, about $500,000 of that money. But what that is, there's 2 parts to the CTN request, as Jim pointed out. And for the $125,000, we plan to use that money that you just mentioned, the $1 million for the equipment to operate out of judicial. The problem being is that we do not have enough operating funds to expand the service, and that it's kind of an issue more for the finance committee, in that the CTN is not funded through general fund, it's through what they call private funds, which is a transfer from the cable TV tax, is probably the best way to put it. So we are mentioning to you because I think that judicial was going to mention it when they met with you. I don't know what their schedule is. I know they met with you once, but they may mention it. We will work through Neil and OFA to get this on the agenda for the finance committee.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't debating whether we needed more money to do what you want to do over in judicial. I'm fine with that. I just wanted to make sure that we weren't leaving $1 million, or that somehow or another that hadn't been also thought about in this process, because we didn't know if you needed that $1 million for, capital expenditures. That was before we ever even heard about judicial. So I have no problem with providing more resources for CTN. I just want to know that what we're providing is actually being spent to help out with the capital expenditures relative to CTN.
It is, I can assure you that. Like I said, I think we've already committed over half of that money. Plus, if we go forward with the judicial, that'll be another $100,000+. So yes, we are utilizing that, and thank you for that.
And have you been, relative to HR, Jim? Do we have enough staff in OFA, LCO, OLR?
Sure.
Are we having a hard time filling those positions?
Yeah, we had more vacancies than typically have over the last probably 6 to 8 months. I would say that, we have hired in each of the nonpartisan offices, including OLM and ITS and the Capitol Police in the last 3 to 4 to 5 or 6 months. And, the candidate pools have not been large, but we've been able to find quality candidates to bring on. We do have some vacancies still, which we will continue to fill. OFA has, I think, 2 we talked about with Neil this morning. LCO, I believe, is full staff at the moment, but as is OLR and ITS. But we are continuing to fill as they come available and are vacant.
So, and thank you for that. And have we ensured that that pay raises in COLAs are happening as provided for in the budget?
Yeah, currently we are utilizing our monies for merit increases. Those are happening, and they happen on anniversary dates of employees. So as their anniversary dates come up, that's when they are eligible they have their performance appraisal and are eligible for a merit increase. And as you mentioned, COLAs are also budgeted for, it would be June of this year, pending approval.
So
But
it's
merits are
scheduled.
happening.
It's scheduled to happen.
Well,
We're not sure if it will.
merits are happening, and COLAs are scheduled to happen.
So I'm going to have the same problem with COLAs that we have had in years past. Is that what you're telling me, Jim?
No, I'm not saying either way. So
Which then I'm just going to extrapolate to be, yes, we're going to have a problem. So I'm going to have to figure out language that I want to put in to make this happen automatically. That's what I have to do. It's enough to drive me crazy.
I agree. And from our side, it's really hard to understand. It seems like it should be as easy as gravity. We wrote it down, we passed it.
mhm.
Exactly. I think
Well,
we're going
we
to have a
appreciate that.
conversation with our this is really not your problem, Jim. This is going to be a problem that the caucuses are going to bring up. And we are going to have a problem with it because we're developing this budget. We want this to happen. We vote on this. All our leaders vote on this. It needs to happen. It just makes it very hard for us to, we have staff, all of your staff are our staff. We count on them to do really hard work. And I can't understand why we're not giving them the pay raises that they deserve. And we're going to have a problem in the state hiring people across the board because we do this, but we should never do it in legislative management.
Well,
That's
as I
my
said,
opinion.
Yeah, thank you. We appreciate that, and we are, like I said, we are giving out merits right now, at the moment, right now, for this fiscal year. And
But they're owed a COLA.
employees are very excited about it.
They're owed a COLA. Peter, don't you think we need to talk to people about this? Terziak? I don't know if I see you.
There we go. Yeah, sorry, I was muted. So you didn't hear me dropping things regularly. It's separate from, we wrote it down, we passed it. The budget is a big old basket of compromises and wishes that were granted and disappointment and things that didn't happen. It's not just happen. It doesn't matter. We're tight as can be up against the caps. So when we assign money to be spent, we're really, really sincere about it. If we didn't think it was important, we got a million other places to spend it. But,
Right.
and the other thing is, I was thinking about it when we were talking about attorneys in particular. Our professional staff, the ones who do this work not in the public sector, are extraordinarily well paid. You know, the folks who are doing this in the public sector are good examples of getting satisfaction and pride in your work by doing the business of the people of the state. So yeah, it's important. It should be like clockwork. January is one, July is the other. Boom, boom, boom.
So we're going to talk about that, just so everybody's really clear about that. We're trying to get that done. And we want to know where case is, and we want to know where the removal of the statue is. So
Okay.
all joking aside.
Yeah, no, and I know, yeah, the COLA it happened last year. Merits are happening now, and you're right. I think we have a great nonpartisan staff, and we're happy that you're working with us to
Right.
recognize.
Well, you know, it's all about not just talking the talk, but walking the walk, and walking the walk requires us to actually pay people to do the work that we expect. So, Susan, is there anything that we neglected to bring up?
I don't think so, Madam Chair.
All righty, is the commission on? Peter, go ahead. Women,
Oh,
Equity.
right, I'm sorry, women, children, seniors, equity and opportunity.
thank you. Are they
Steve-
here?
Steve will be on in at 2:20. He said he's coming on because we had originally told him 2:45.
What time is it?
It's 2:17 right now. So he'll be
Okay,
here.
so we have 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Jim, is there anything else you wanted to talk to us about?
I don't have anything, John or Caroline.
No, I think we covered everything from my perspective.
Okay.
Good.
Caroline, you're all set?
I am, thank you.
Okay.
So I could just give you some additional information on things like our retirements.
Okay.
We do have, I would say we have a few more than normal during a regular year happening in and around June and July 1st. Folks that are leaving, due to the changes that are coming up. So we're preparing for those departures. Obviously, folks that are retiring have been here a long time or have a great experience, and so they're higher level positions. So we are working on, looking at how to fill those roles throughout the next 3 or 4 months. So you'll start to see some additional advertisement going out for those jobs. Like I said, a little more activity than we normally have, but certainly not. We didn't anticipate a large exodus, so we haven't gotten that, and we don't expect that to happen. But there certainly is a few more than normal. So they are key positions that we are losing some folks in. So we are, very, very interested in making sure we fill those properly and with the right people, and that the services we provide does not skip a beat as we go forward here over the next few years. I think Caroline and I are working together on that. And I think we're on point as far as making sure that we are getting that information together, and that, we leave ourselves plenty of time to fill those roles, whether it's June 1st or July 1st. So we'll be getting some ads out in the next couple of weeks, actually, for some of the positions.
And we have food back in the cafeteria. Woohoo!
Yeah, today was opening day, as they say. They're back. Lessings is back. It's the company that was there prior to the pandemic, and we're doing a little bit of a hybrid. It's not a full open cafeteria, but there's plenty of food, and everybody's kind of happy to to get that open again, and a couple of staff folks are back that were here before, so everybody's happy to see them, and we're excited about it. It brings a little life back into the building as well, and it's exciting. And they've
I think it's great.
Yeah.
it's been ready.
I had a cheeseburger today, so it was
Oh, you did?
really
Okay.
good. It was good.
When I read about it yesterday, I invited my wife to lunch as soon as we can make it together.
There you go.
Exciting.
So we're excited about that. It's a great opportunity for us to get back again, kind of back to normal a little bit more. So we're excited
Right.
about it. And they're excited to be here, which is great too.
Good. I'm really happy. I'm happy to see people back in the building. I think it's wonderful.
Madam Chair, Steve is here.
All righty.
All right.
You want to bring them on?
Hi,
Good to see
Steve.
everyone. I hope you can hear me okay.
We can hear you.
Oh, great.
And now
Okay,
we,
Steve. What's going on in the, okay, Peter, your
The-
turn.
in the Commission on Women, Children, Seniors, Equity and Opportunity.
Well, that about says it all. It's been I have to tell you, it's been a dynamic, as you can imagine and know, few years for the commission. We are now at a full complement of staffing. And, considering the work, not only that we experienced in the last 3 years, but also that we've built upon through transition, through pivoting, through really understanding how to reach people more effectively. We hit the ground running. We have a full staff, as I said. Each of our divisions is staffed with probably one of the most diverse, dynamic, and effective, through my eyes, staff that we have, or at least that I've experienced. So so that's what's going on with the commission. I can give you more details on any of the particular lines of expertise, but we are fully staffed.
So is there anything else that you need relative to the budget? Are you all set?
There are a couple of things. So one, as I understand that, and perhaps Sue and my colleagues can give more flavor to the request, but we are going to run short, partly because of the full staffing. So this is a PS request. We are going to run short a modest amount, but perhaps Sue Skian, if you'd like to give more flavor to that. I think I understood that it was about 50,000. I do have a separate request, but that can come after.
Yeah, so what we had initially requested in the budget was around the 800,000 mark, and for personal services, and that was staffing at a higher level. So when Steve went through and filled all his positions, we calculated what it would be. What was missed is the 27th pay period, so he's shy on that pay period, and also, there's some other minimal dollars in PS that were taken away. So there was a significant cutback from what was requested to what was appropriated. And so he tried to comply with it, but you get a 27th pay period and it throws the budget. So that's what he's looking for.
How much is it?
50 grand, 50,000.
50 even?
Mhm.
Thank you. And what's your second request, Steve?
The second request is a repeat of a request that I made last year and the year before. About 3 years ago now, maybe 4, the Connecticut General Assembly adopted a plan to roll out what we call a racial and ethnic impact statement. It is a statement of disparity, essentially, and how it is that a particular provision, either in spending or in policy, might have a disparate impact along race and ethnicity lines. Our plan is that someday that evolve into a disparity statement, but for now it's a racial and ethnic impact statement. And what we have developed in the last few years in working with national experts and working with local advisors, including a fellow from Yale that we brought on a couple of years ago, is a plan towards implementation. What that plan for implementation includes some of the best practices around the country that municipalities are following on creating racial and ethnic impact statements. These would be one-page useful statements that use metadata, not just local data, but data that's available across the country. They would be a succinct statement of impact based on a hypothesis of impact that a legislator would request. What we're envisioning is that ultimately these impact statements will evolve to be disparity statements, to include disability, to include other mutable and immutable characteristics that a person may face that might bring a disparity. It's a better understanding of our people in the state, our people that may live in quiet corners of the state or in our urban centers, so that we can address their needs more directly and so that we don't become perpetually underfunding a need, rather addressing a need and perhaps improving the situation of a resident. So that's the idea. What we have created is a draft rulemaking for the GAE to adopt. We have also, through the funding of the Hartford Foundation, done a civics landscape analysis of the Hartford region for starters, to really understand what's keeping people from believing in their government, keeping people from understanding that their government is theirs, and that they have entry points on which to influence it through their input and through their engagement. So that's part of the work that we've done. What we're asking for is seed money for the analysts. We are recommending that we start with 2 analysts that are specifically trained in understanding data. They would be firewalled from the staff of the commission. They would function on their own. And the 2 analysts would essentially come in at what we're recommending is an analyst 2 position with the General Assembly, which just pure numbers would be about.
They're looking for 2 more positions, Steve?
2 more
and
positions.
Somebody was making a face at me and I had to tell him not to make me laugh because I was trying not to laugh in public, but
that's quite all right.
Sorry.
Now, the reason I'm calling them seed positions is because I can understand if this legislature is still understanding what the full impact of the racial and ethnic impact statement will be. I can also tell you that the federal government, starting under the previous administration, moving into this one, is keeping a close eye on what this looks like, because the federal government wants to be similarly responsive to its residents. So they are looking at what we are developing and working with us to perhaps emulate a federal model. So it's getting national attention. It's very exciting. The Hartford Foundation did seed some of this funding. There is a training that we have created that we are going to offer to all of you and also community members so that they can understand what the import and impact of a racial and ethnic impact statement will have, how to use one in everyday life, including in your communities. We're asking for 2 positions so that we can start that work. We've done all the legwork. This is to start the analysis. Ultimately, our goal is that the function of racial and ethnic impact statement be spread out throughout our sister agencies the way that a financial impact statement would be, or a policy impact statement, but that is in the out years. For now, we are hoping to house them within the commission, firewalled from the rest of the staff, and sort of proving the point.
Would these be part-time temporary positions, or are you looking for 2 full-time positions?
These would be full-time positions. What we have proposed in our recommendation is that during the season, the legislative season, they would be responding directly to your requests. On the off season, they would be running what will essentially be a research capacity, understanding the landscape of disparity, building research papers and recommendations along the lines of disparity. As you know, anybody who works in this work, disparity is baked into our laws, but it also emerges in ways that we don't understand. Research and data is the best way to inform what disparity looks like on the ground.
Peter, do you have any questions for Steve?
Nope, I'm fine with that. Thank you very much. I'm pleased. When we combined everything, we were just hoping to keep it alive and better days would be coming. It's nice to see it be functional and doing good things. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's
All
it.
right. I think that's it. Sue, is there anything else that we need to talk about?
I think so. I think you're good.
All righty. All right, Jim Tambora,
Yes, ma'am.
thank you very much for coming in today.
Thank you, Senator. Thank you, Representative Terzi. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Always good to see you.
And we look forward to making sure that everything we put in the budget actually makes it through. So,
We will be in touch.
all right, thank you.
Thank
Take
you for
care.
your work. Take care.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.